Here's one of the biggest teen idols in the world, with hit records, global tours, and TV specials. His face was all over magazines and posters that plastered the bedroom walls of millions of teens. But for actor and singer Leif Garrett, the glare of all that instant fame led him to self-destruction, into addictions that almost took not only his life, but his friends as well. Today, he's bearing his soul and revealing his darkest secrets about how he survived. He shot onto the scene in the late 60s, appearing in the hottest TV shows, and even landing a role in the movie that defined the decade, Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice. But his teen heartthrob status skyrocketed to pop superstardom when he recorded the hit single, I Was Made for Dancing in 1978. From there, the sky was the limit for 16-year-old Leif Garrett. But being raised by a single working mom, Leif lacked a father figure in his life. Like many child stars with little or no adult supervision on the road, he would turn to drugs and alcohol at an early age. With international fame, Leif was running with an A-list crowd and was given a free pass to do whatever he pleased. He was exposed to an endless supply of alcohol, drugs, women, and near brushes with death. By the 90s, the handsome teen idol looked like this. His downward spiral continued, with Leif making headline after headline for drug arrests and relapses. Now he's coming clean about all of it and what saved him from his addictions and painful past. Leif Garrett is here in person. You know, we heard the highs and the lows, how you survived. So a miracle for many of us to contemplate. Why did you decide to open up now to tell your story?
It was the right time. I've lived with some of these, if you will, secrets for quite a while, and I just needed to clear my conscience, you know. And also, if anything, if I can help somebody give advice what to look out for or something like that, then that's even better. But I really wanted to just tell my story and let people know directly from me what it's about.
You in your book, which is fantastic, Idle Truth.
Thank you.
You talk about your childhood,
Yeah.
about the difficulties in your family.
Yeah.
So your mom's by herself, as you and your sister, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Decides to put you into acting, and all of a sudden, overnight, you're an incredible child star. What was that like?
It was great. I loved it. It was. First of all, I didn't have to go to school, regular school.
That's good.
So it was just fun too. It was like playtime almost, And yeah.
So you're riding high. Now, on our show, we have talked about pedophiles in Hollywood. This is something that you all become aware of because we've been harping on it because these are unprotected young people.
Yeah.
There was a producer, since passed away, that was reported by others, not you, to have been a sexual predator of young boys. I know you know this story, and apparently he approached you and your mom actually more about your career.
Yeah, it was under the, we just came back from Israel where we were for 6 months, and I did 2 films over there, and we came back. All of a sudden, we've got somebody who's Warren Beatty's cousin, who's associate producer on all of his films and things like that. And he, was basically under the guise of, get you into a film with Warren and all this and further your career. And nothing ever came of any of that. It was creepy. My mom didn't. I don't understand the train of thought of trusting somebody that you don't really know, someone you just met, just because that they're involved in the film business in a rather good position, so to speak, and Warren Beatty's cousin.
As you look back on interactions with that gentleman, were there signs that he may have been grooming you?
Absolutely, absolutely. I was very naive as well, but also very young,
How old were you?
I was 15, 16, I was 15. We played racquetball. First of all, he knew Led Zeppelin was my favorite band, so bringing me to a concert, Led Zeppelin '77, getting a really nice Jaguar rent-a-car, and here's the keys, kid, drive. Oh, hey, let's smoke some marijuana. Let's, stuff like that,
And you were 50, and how old was he?
I'm guessing around 30, late 30s, something like that, maybe mid 30s.
And yet it was an innocent time for all of us.
It was. It's nowadays this wouldn't go down like that,
So let's talk about November the 3rd, 1979. I'm sitting in Boston in college, and you're almost dying. You're high on quaaludes.
Yep.
It's your 18th birthday is around then.
Yeah, it was 5 days later.
So about the same age. Dave's car is on an LA freeway. He crashes it, and it leaves his friend in the passenger seat, a paraplegic for life.
Yeah.
What really happened that night? What led to the accident?
Well, just a group of young people hanging out together, drinking, taking substances, and because we were feeling the down effects, looking for something to lift us up. And we were elected the ones to go find cocaine.
So you're high on quaaludes, have
Yep.
been drinking, so you're
Yep.
partying with your friends.
Yep.
The two of you leave.
Yep.
Would you drive in that state now?
Hell no.
Do you remember the accident?
Yeah, absolutely, quite vividly. We'd actually passed the exit that we knew we were supposed to get off on a couple of times, apparently higher than we thought. And heading back towards the house, he fell asleep, and I had no idea that sometimes he fell asleep with his eyes open. And I'm holding the steering wheel like this, and I reached over to see if he's okay, and just car, with the steering wheel. We clipped the rear end of another car, which spun us around, and then hit the curb, and it went like that down an 80-foot
Flipped over. 80 feet.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and he was yelling at me to straighten his legs out, and his legs were already straight. And the scent of gasoline was rather overwhelming, and the people who I clipped were standing up at the top, yelling at me. Was I crazy, you little and blah blah, and I'm just trying to get help. So there used to be the call boxes. Yeah. And so went up, and I actually was the one to make the phone call to call the police and have them come. And
You divide your life into before November 3rd and after the accident.
yeah.
How has it changed you?
Well, I'm a big-time advocate of take a cab, don't drink and drive, and I wasn't as close a friend with the gentleman as Roland as I was. It was his name. He has since passed on.
Sorry.
But it's kind of you got. I had to make better. I wasn't making great decisions. I was disillusioned in my own career and my life at the time, taking things I should not have been taking, but didn't have the parental guidance that I truly needed. I honestly wish that I had more discipline in my life. I truly, honestly wished I had somebody telling me no, instead of always being told, sure, kid, whatever you want.
So coming up, the rock bottom moment that Leif says changed everything. Stick with us. We are back with former teen heartthrob Leif Garrett, who's revealing the truth about his addictions. Now, in the wake of a car accident that rendered his friend a paraplegic for life, Leif says his life continued to spiral out of control. And one of the rockiest times, you argue, is when you broke up with Nicolette Sheridan, which I can understand how it hit you hard on top of all the other things that were going on. Why did the relationship end? How did it end?
My career was, at that time, started down. Her career was starting up. And we were best friends in the whole world, or we cleared rooms. I mean, it was...
Was she the love of your life?
Yes, yes. She was my first real deep love. Yeah.
So in the meantime, you turned to partying. And you continued to crumble under the weight of your addictions. I'm going to read this little excerpt from Idle Truth because I think it was compelling. I could handle the drinking. I could handle the cocaine. I could handle the quaaludes. The heroin was a whole other story. When did you start using heroin?
Oh man, it was much later on in my life. It was when I was trying to resurrect the musical career, and all of my heroes in music were known to partake. And a lot of them, like, Keith Richards, any of the guys from the Stones, Aerosmith, Zeppelin, I thought being categorized in that sort of group would maybe further or help my moving on to the rock and roll, the real rock and roll,
So you get up to $300 a day smoking black tar heroin.
Yes.
When did you finally hit rock bottom?
I think 3 months in county jail was pretty much, yeah, that was, yeah, that's a great photo right there, isn't it? That's a good one. That haunts the hell out of me, that photograph, I gotta tell you.
For good reason.
Yeah, exactly.
So Shia LaBeouf came out this week and said, getting arrested, which happened when I was making my brother-in-law's movie, by the way.
Wow.
Saved his life. Did these guys save your life?
Huh. I guess in a very profound way, yeah, because being locked up is, not having your freedom is a really strong signal. It's very, I don't think you realize how important it is until you lose it, as such with many things.
How's your recovery been?
I've had my ups and downs with it, it's take it one day at a time. I found, though, it's interesting because a lot of people subscribe to the meetings and things like that. I personally found every time I went to the meetings, I wanted to use more afterwards. Because people get up and talk and they're like, oh man, I remember when we did this and it was so great and we were higher than a kite and we were da 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 da. And it's a big pickup joint.
Is that right?
Oh, I swear to God, it's so funny because everyone is there changing one addiction for another one. And you cannot get sober unless you want to quit. But you have to check out the things that made you start using in the first place and then want to not do it.
Come on over with me. I want you to share something. This audience loves you. And
I love them.
They're representing the pain that a lot of Americans feel because addiction is such a big part of our lives. So come join me on the stoop here. Have a seat.
All right.
And I'll turn it over to you. What's the advice you would give folks about addiction? What would you have to say to folks who are struggling right now? Where you were when you got put in jail?
You got to figure out if that's the road you want to continue down. It's not a pleasant road. It's a lot of pain and suffering, and it's important to want to not do it because you can't stop unless you want to stop.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very well said.
Thank you.
Thanks for your story. Leif's memoir, Idle Truth, is fabulous. Pick it up. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on new videos to live the good life.